like to give a summary of the examples that we did in this video. The first type of examples that we did in this video were those that had their first number as positive. That means that they had 5 instead of negative 5. We found that 5 plus 2 equals 7, and we also found that 5 minus 2 equals 3. More importantly, we found that 5 plus negative 2 is equivalent to 5 minus 2, which is 3. And we also found that 5 minus negative 2 is the same as 5 plus 2, which is 7. Then we also had examples in which the first number was negative. These examples had negative 5 instead of 5. We found that negative 5 plus 2 is equal to negative, parentheses, 5 minus 2 equals negative 3. Then we found that negative 5 minus 2 equals negative, parentheses, 5 plus 2, which is equivalent to negative 7. We also found out that negative 5 plus negative 2 equals negative 5 minus 2, which we already found out was negative 7. We also learned that negative 5 minus negative 2 is equal to negative 5 plus 2, which we already found out was negative 3. So I would like to give the overall summary for this series of videos. First, when you have addition or positive number, basically if you see the plus sign, keep the operation adding or subtracting the same. For example, if I have 5 and then I want to add positive 2, and I see the plus sign from the positive 2, it will not interfere with ultimately adding. When you have subtraction or a negative number, basically if you see the minus sign, switch to the opposite operation, adding or subtracting. For example, if I have 5 plus negative 2, that would be the same thing as 5 minus 2. If I have 5 minus negative 2, that is the same thing as 5 plus 2. So the changes that would occur in plus minus plus plus minus minus plus would be, so I would start out with addition because the first symbol is the plus sign. Then I see the minus sign. I need to do opposite. And the opposite thing from addition is subtraction. Then I see the plus sign. I need to do the same thing. And the same thing as subtraction is subtraction. Again, we have a similar story here because the next symbol is the plus sign. Now I want to do the opposite. I now see the minus sign. And the opposite thing from subtraction is addition. Again, I want to do the opposite. And the opposite thing from addition is subtraction. Lastly, I'm going to end up with subtraction because the plus sign says to do the same thing. And the same thing as subtraction is subtraction. So all of these symbols would end up in subtracting ultimately. There is another aspect to the overall summary. It is you can solve some of these problems by using the distributive property. For example, negative 5 plus 2 equals negative, parentheses, 5 minus 2. Negative 5 minus 2 is equal to negative, parentheses, 5 plus 2. Just remember that if you have the negative sign and only the negative sign outside the parentheses, everything inside the parentheses needs to be the opposite of the original. For example, if you have negative 5, then later inside the parentheses, it should be a 5. If you had a 2, then later inside the parentheses, it should be a negative 2. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it.